Hi, everyone. Welcome to Country Pocket. Today we have Gaby Moreno on the show. Her new album is Alegoria, and you just heard
Alegoría, yeah.
Alegoria. Sorry, I I'm not the best with foreign languages, not gonna lie.
That was great though.
Um, Lost on a Cloud with Chris Thiele was the first song you just heard. Tell me about the surreal feeling of having nothing but free time during the pandemic.
Yeah, that's definitely very surreal, especially when you know like the whole world is at a standstill with you,
Mm.
you know. That I think that was the one thing that always kind of yeah, made it feel completely surreal to me. Every time I would wake up in the morning, I'd be like, huh, every single person in the world is dealing with, I mean, almost. But yes, it was definitely a weird time as it was for everybody, but I think it was also good to like at least for someone like me that I had been in constant movement and always traveling, going on some tour. Yeah, it felt nice to just be home and tend to other things and I don't know, try out some new things that I hadn't before.
Yeah, what were some of the things you were doing to keep sane?
Oh man, well, a lot of cooking, honestly. Like, of course, like we couldn't go anywhere, so we had to like force ourselves to cook. And yeah, that was nice. I think that kind of kept me grounded and was some form of meditation to just be in the kitchen cooking and yeah.
Yeah,
What
I
about
got into the cooking too. It was not the worst way of spending time, eh,
for sure.
especially rewarding because then you got to eat it.
And healthier. So
Well, depends on how what I was making that
what
particular day.
ingredient? Yes, of course. But for the most part, I think healthier than going to a restaurant. At least I don't know. I mean, I was just in Europe for 6 weeks and eating, eating out and but also eating some nice home cooked meals. But I don't know. Just it just made me realize that I need to get back. I need to get back to cooking my own food again.
So it was just this strange time because on the one hand, you were totally worried about whether or not the world would survive, and little things like that. But
Yeah.
on the other hand, I was also enjoying myself. Like it was you were talking about how youth is, something that people who are young maybe don't appreciate it, but it felt like I was a kid on summer vacation again. And
Mm,
I don't think I will ever feel that kind of complete and total lack of responsibility on my shoulders uh, again in my adult life until maybe when I retire.
and unless there's another pandemic. Ah, knock on wood.
What did you just do?
I'm sorry. But it's like now it's like, you just know that anything could happen, right? We never in a million years imagine something like this could happen. And, anyways, I'm not, I don't want to jinx it. But
What did you just
never say never. That's all I'm going to say.
So how did you draw hope out of those dark times?
Mm, oh man, I mean, at times it was hard. It was very hard to like stay hopeful. Um, but I don't know, just being here at home, just trying to stay present, trying to live like one day at a time, Just waking up in the morning and like thinking like, all right, like, what do I want to do today? And like just think about that. Because if you started to think about the future, then I think that's what like made a lot of people insane. But for me, it was just trying to like just go one day at a time and also trying to find other ways to stay creative. Personally, for me, I couldn't bring myself to like write. You know how like some artists were like, "Oh yeah, I had all this free time, so I wrote like 3 new records." I'm like, not me. I wasn't feeling that really. And I think actually a lot of artists friends that I've talked to felt the same way. Just it just it was a weird time. It was really weird. And so I got into producing. I tried to learn some more how to work on Logic, how to edit, how to produce other people, other tracks. And honestly, it was a lot of fun. I even ended up like composing music for a film, something I had never done in my life. So it, yeah, some good things came out of it for sure.
Yeah, at least in terms of the English language songs, I felt like Lost on a Cloud and Till Waking Light were both sort of addressing that crisis, and you came at it from two sharply different angles. So let's take that turn and focus on Till Waking Light. What kind of power do things like dreams and daydreams have over reality?
Mm, I mean, I've always considered myself a person who's always daydreaming, and I always dream, like always. I know some people like that'll say like, oh, I'm, awake, but I always wake up like remembering exactly what I dreamed, and then of course, during the day, then I forget. But I feel like, um, I don't know. It just again going back to like staying hopeful. Like for me, as someone who's always kind of dreaming about whether it's small things, little, or big things. That's something that keeps me going. That gives me hope. Just I love dreaming. um, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I've definitely found myself daydreaming a lot while I was, during this pandemic. It was something that I was like just thinking, oh, like what could I do? What comes next? Like just thinking about big things that I could do. Even though it just felt like a total, weird time, dark times. But yeah.
Now, obviously, you did not have to deal with a respiratory disease on the track Till Waking Light because, wow, how long are you holding out that note?
I don't know. I was trying to hold it as long as I could get the message across. It's a note that I'm holding because I'm in pain, because I'm, just devastated. I'm not thinking in terms of like, I'm not trying to break any records or anything. It's just what I felt in the moment, really. To me, it's just a very powerful song, with its message. And yeah, sometimes like vocally I need to connect with it some way, and that's how I did it.
Beautifully done. Definitely my favorite track on the album. It was, it's almost operatic.
Right. Yeah, I actually started singing opera when I was a little girl, when I was about 7 years old. So maybe it comes from there. I don't know.
Just for my listeners, I'm about to play the song and take a little break, but just for my listeners on the show who most of whom do not know Spanish, what do you wind up saying in Spanish on the song?
um Okay, let me see. I mean, it's a continuation of the same message. And I'm not saying anything. I'm not translating anything literally from the English verses, but let me think. I'm saying the wind, the wind. Fuerte ruge el viento que detiene casi tiempo en tu mirar. Okay, it's gonna sound weird in English. It's definitely more poetic in Spanish, but the wind howls violently that it almost makes time stand still, in how do you say, in your oh my god, you just put me on the spot now. I'm trying to like translate this. But then it says basically, oh my poor soul that tra- cannot find tranquility, only only by looking at you. Like only by looking at you I can find myself in this peaceful state.
That
So
sounds plenty poetic in English.
some, yeah, I know I'm like maybe butchering it, but I know there's definitely more poetic words in English. I just can't find them right this second. You put me on the spot.
Well, let's hear Till Waking Light. I'll give you a little break and we'll be back.